Hi everyone, Chef from Outdoors in the localities. Now, as you might see on my channel, I have multiple chainsaws, and people ask me sometimes why do you have different types of chainsaws. Now, I can spend the whole video on that, but also they sometimes ask me why do you have this small little one? And the answer is that, of course, this is a very light chainsaw. You can even use it with one hand if you want for doing some maintenance around the house, because of course you always need to have mains cable connected to it. But there is one very specific application where I use a chainsaw for, which in my view is extremely handy, and that's something that I want to share with you in this video. So we're going outside and I'm going to show you what that is. And I'm very curious if you feel the same about it. But that's something that I will read in the comments, I hope. And now I use those chainsaws, of course, to cut down trees. Some of the wood I use immediately, the thicker parts for construction, or I cut it down in small parts and use it directly for drying in the stove. But especially the thinner branches. I think it's a waste to throw them away. So I put them here on a large pile, and then after a while it's large enough to do something with it. And it's quite some work to cut them all in pieces using the wood stand that you can use in the stove or in the fireplace. And that's exactly where the E140 is so very handy for. So the first step is to put the old workbench in a location very close to the pile. Step 2 is to mount the E140 in the workbench. Workmate. Step 3 is for extra safety. On top of the clamping of the workbench, I also clamp it with a glue clamp to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, whatever happens. As you can see, this is the case. Of course, make sure you have the right chain tension as well as completely filled up with oil. And you can still use the wrench. Well, the chainsaw is still in place to adapt it when necessary. I'm going to use this clamp to make sure that the pressure switch is being activated. Connecting the mains. And I'm very keen on hearing protection and side protection. So that's the next step. And then we can do a quick check. Everything's still fine. Ready to roll. And this gives a very nice demonstration in how effectively this small chainsaw is when it's being operated in this way. As you can see, all branches are being cut in pieces very quickly by just taking it from the pile and holding it against the chainsaw at a safe distance. And even those thicker parts, still no problem for this very tiny but very strong electrical chainsaw. Let me show you. And with a sharp chain, even the thicker ones are cut very easily. And the small reduction in engine speed of the MSE 140 shows that the motor power is more than enough for this type of jobs. So you see that after just a very short amount of time you already have quite a heap of branches cut down. It goes very fast. You can see how strong this little engine actually is. So it's time to call in the cavalry then. Well, the cavalry arrived. It's now easy peasy work. And in such a short amount of time, already more than a bucket full. You can see how quick it is to cut them in pieces like this. So as you can see, this little chainsaw is very strong, good engine, even the fake ones, no problem at all. And you can see how quick it goes. In the past, of course, I used my chainsaw stand, and then especially the round small one started to roll around while doing the cutting. You have to put in every piece again on it and then do the cutting, take the chainsaw, things like that. This goes so much faster, uncomparable with doing it piece by piece. Now, maybe some of you think this guy is completely nuts. He's abusing the little tiny saw with the way he's doing this. Please let me know in the comments, because I'm doing this already for many years. It's still functioning great. Of course, Stihl is a very good brand, so in that sense I'm not worried about it. And if there is something, let's say the carbon connectors need to be replaced, I will do that. But up to now, no problem at all. This is a very old saw. I have it already for, I don't know, more than 20 years. Yes, more than 20 years. And still works great. So, I hope it was interesting to you. So I'm very curious if you had the same experience or maybe different. So I'm going to put the wood away now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.